Right, so before we get rid of the brown board, we're going to do a little bit of chopping of our herbs. You've got time, and instead of parsley, we're going to use some of the spinach, yeah? But there's some sage here that we're going to use as well, yeah? And basically, we're going to do this nice and finely chiffonaded. Yeah? With your time, we're just going to de-stalk. Okay. What type of herb is it?
Which one?
Thyme and sage.
Woody and...
So what is it known as? Is it hard or soft?
Hard.
Hard, yeah, because it is robust in going cooking, because it's not going to be affected by the cooking process as much as, what is that? It's a spinach leaf, but it could be classed as a herb. So what would that be? Soft, because it's delicate, it's fragile, yeah? And basically just look through it, any big stalks, get rid, yeah?
Is this for the gnocchi?
Yeah, it's going to be a mixture for the gnocchi and the mousse.
Right.
I would normally use parsley, but obviously we didn't get any parsley yet today, so... Again, nice fine chiffonade. And that's basically a herb mix. Alright, for the time, a bit of parsley, sage, and sage. Yeah. I'm going to use half for your gnocchi and you're going to use half in your mousse. And that's what we're coming on to next, guys. Alright, so that's that. That did. Just stick that in the fridge. Again, I might be using the board again, so I'll come back with that. I will be using it again for my last of my garnish. Right. So first things first, we're going to make our mousse. Yeah. Dave, do us a favour, check if the cream's in there. Double cream, please. What? There's double cream in there. If you forgot to give us it. No, I need the other one then. I'll have that to begin with. I'll have that now, but I need the other one as well. Alright. 2 seconds, David. Eggs as well. Any eggs in there? Right, so we've all worked with these robo cooks before. Patience is a virtue. 30 seconds is the sealed unit. Yeah, I'll have the eggs out, please. Right, so we used the rubber cooks before, yeah? Do you know what we use them?
Sure.
Yeah. So obviously make sure it's locked in place like so. What we're doing is the mousse, alright? So basically you've got your diced breast that you had before. That's going in. We will need 200 ml of cream. Yeah. Right, so 200 ml of cream, 1 egg white. Depending on the mousse that you're making as to what you're going to put in it, I want a nice pale, light, white mousse. Yeah, so that's why I'm going to use the egg white, not the egg yolk. Yeah, some recipes will call for you to use a bit of egg yolk and egg white. All eggs, whatever. Sorry, Dave, we found the eggs, but not the cream. And I'm upset about it. I didn't realise there was eggs in the fridge. So I've got the egg white. I've got my cream. And as we spoke about at the beginning, in regards to that outcome, yeah, end product might not keep its shape or texture. One of the key things you need to remember when making a mousse protein, i.e. fish or meat or fish or poultry, as I said, is basically the addition of salt. Salt is key at the right stage. You don't season at the end. You need the salt now, because that sort of like tightens the protein muscles, yeah, and brings it together tighter. So that's going to help when it adding the egg white and the cream. It's going to help bind it. It's going to help combine it. Yeah, it will most probably not split if you don't add the salt. So yeah, that's not too much of an issue, but it has a more of a risk of splitting. So a good pinch of salt, because that's we're seasoning it now as well. All right, and in with your egg white. Scrape the edges. Yeah, so basically made it into a pulp. Yeah, like so. Yeah, so it's nice and pulped down. And this way you've got to work reasonably fast. Yeah, because we don't want to have it hanging around outside in the heat for too long. Again, because that could affect the overall outcome. Yeah, if it gets too warm, and split. You're making fish mousses. Ideally, you have everything very well chilled. I.e., you chill your bone down, you chill your jug of cream down, you chill your egg down, you chill your fish right down. Work really, really fast, because that does have a tendency to split out, especially the ones like sole mousse. Using sole as a flesh, yeah, work very, very quickly, or else it will split out straightforward. Yeah.
Just from the general heat in the...
Even just the actual movement, the friction of the machine. That's that. Just get me small board from the back and that will. Right, so off, like so, happy days. Right, we're going to pass it, I want to get it chilled again, yeah? So basically I'm going to chill it down first. Right, another tip for the future, if you're making a savoury mousse especially, and you're going to wash your Robo Coupe out, whether it be your Robo Coupe or Magimix or KitchenAid or Thermomix, rinse it out in cold water. Yeah, and then when all the residue proteins have been removed, then wash it. Don't wash it in hot water, because what's going to happen to your proteins? Going to cook. And trying to get that off is an absolute nightmare. So just get that nice, that needs to chill right down again. So we'll be back in there. Alright, so I'll just soak that off. Rinse it in a moment. Right, whilst I've got my red board out, I may as well finish off the chicken legs. Yeah. So chicken legs, boning knife, sharp, right, so we've got our legs. What I want to do, I want to take the knuckle off, a bit like your French trimming, yeah? So basically you're going to go around the top of the knuckle of the drumstick and basically go all the way around about an inch from the top, from the moving part, just an inch below that. And cut through all the sinew and tendons and basically just scrape that apart from each other, yeah? Scrape nice and down. If it was turkey or a bigger bird, then I would possibly get a pair of pliers on the tendons to pull them out, alright? Make it nice and tender, alright? But it's fine, it doesn't get affected, it's too small a tendon. When it'll cook down, you won't notice it. Bigger birds definitely get the tendons pulled out with a pair of pliers. And like so, then as we did before with the wingtip, the opposite way to where it bends, off, nice and clean, yeah, that's what you're looking for. Alright, next stage, what you got here is thigh bone, not an artist, alright, but it's got cartilage around here. You've got your drumstick bone, cartilage around there, and that all joins together, yeah? What I want to take off, I want the whole thigh bone out, but I also want cartilage off the top of the drumstick bone as well. So when we go at the top, we're going to cut through there. So you've got the cartilage still attached to the thigh bone part, yeah? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
think so.
Yeah, what you will do, you'll see it in a minute. But basically, that's where you cut. You don't cut right through the middle, and you don't cut on the thigh bone side, because I don't want this area still left inside the chicken leg. I want this bone there, because that's a presentation, and that's part of it, yeah? Because I don't want to break the bone there, because you have a risk of shattering and having shards and sharp edges. Again, a choking risk. Yeah, not very palatable. Alright? So what you do, you got the line where you would basically cut for the knuckle between the drumstick and the thigh. It's a fat line there, so you feel it. So you want to start above there and basically work your way down the thigh bone. Yeah? And cutting through the cartilage. You can see, your cartilage is here. Yeah? So that's a moving joint. There, the cartilage starts at the top there. Alright? So your cartilage there, and that's basically where we're going to be cutting down. So basically we're going to go down either side of your bone. To be fair, you can just use your fingers to take the flesh off the thigh bone, yeah, like I say. Nice and easy. Then use your blade underneath, take off that cartilage. Yeah, so that's there. Then you're going to go to the top, work around this area of knuckle here on both sides. And then you're going to see where the cartilage is at the top of their drumstick bone. And because it's nice and tender and soft, we're going to cut through it. Alright? Like so. And then just basically work your way around underneath, back to the bone.